I'm Griffin, and this is Foley, and welcome to Other Planets. Hi, welcome back. So we've been on a bit of a hiatus, and I'm sorry about that. I had a job that was quite intensive for a little while, and so I just didn't have time to do this, and I'm really sorry, but we should be back now and back on schedule with videos every Wednesday, potentially every other Wednesday, but probably every Wednesday for the foreseeable future. So, cool. Today we're talking about special interests. Now, if you know someone with autism, then you're probably kind of familiar with what this is. It's something, often more than one thing, that that person talks about or just watches or listens to or reads a lot. And, you know, I think there's kind of this misconception because it can seem like this really repetitive behavior or like a compulsion, or like that's just someone's favorite thing and they can't really let go of it. And, you know, sometimes that might be part of it, but it's a little bit more than that. A special interest is something that someone with autism finds, and it kind of has two basic qualities. One of them is that it's something that has a tone, or kind of the system of how it works is something that really is relatable to that person with autism. You know, because the majority of people in the world are neurotypical, the world is made up of systems that neurotypical people have mostly kind of composed and thought of. So when a person with autism or autistic person finds something that is like their kind of thing, or something that they can really relate to, then it's really refreshing. And the second part of it is that that's the thing that also is something that's important to like the world and is really useful in the world. And there's a lot of moments where, as an autistic person, you know, you can kind of feel like the way that you think, or the things that you engage with, and the way that you see the world is something that isn't going to be valued at the place where you work, or isn't, you know, something you can relate with other people. It's something that you have to kind of hide, or that you have to kind of ignore in order to relate to other people better. But if you find something that, like, you know is a big part of the world, but also makes sense to you in the way that your brain works, that's really exciting. So special interests are actually, a lot of the time, a way to kind of try to feel engaged in the world and to be a bit more social, even if they don't actually involve engaging with other people. It's about something you can be comfortable with, but also a way that you can feel part of the world. So they're pretty cool that way. They can be lots of different things. It can be like a species of animal, it can be a TV show, it can be a song, or an album, or an artist, loads of different things. But, you know, usually it's something that that person will just kind of keep engaging with again and again and again. And, you know, that's really cool. The process of doing that is not one of that person not being intelligent, or, you know, just having to have the same stimulus. That's a really nice thing. It can be really helpful, but it's something that a lot of the time, you know, when someone's engaging with that, they're learning more and more and more every time they engage with it, because it's something that helps them engage with kind of a bigger system of how the world works, in a world that isn't really structured the way their brain is structured. So it's a pretty cool thing. If you love someone with autism, an awesome thing to do is to like listen. And maybe it's really, I don't know, for people say that it's like a lot of information at once, or it's boring or whatever, and, you know, okay, but really actually properly listening to someone talk about their special interest and engaging with that, and asking them questions, and it's not just about kind of patronizing them. It's about, you know, actually if you really listen to what they're saying about their special interest, you're going to understand a lot more about what the things are that make them happy about being in the world, and the ways that they already connect to the world, a really neurotypical world, as an autistic person. And that might help you find more ways to relate to them. So, like, it's a two-way thing, really. But because it's so big to us, like, it's really nice to have that kind of respect and space, and awareness that, you know, our special interests really matter, and that they're something we use to recharge and to, like, not feel so alone in the world. Cool. So the second bit, I'm combining two segments actually, which is like news and like cool autistic people, and that's because I'm still like coming back into the world of doing videos, but this is really, really cool, and it's especially cool to me because I'm an actor and it's about a theater thing. In terms of news, it's a little bit old. It's a thing that happened kind of like end of May, so sorry, but it's like big news in terms of acting in autism, because that world is still so difficult and fraught, and I've actually been leading some workshops and some kind of big conversations around acting in autism, and I'll do like a proper update on that soon. But a really cool thing happened. So I don't know if you're familiar with The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. It's a novel that was adapted into a play, and then was kind of a smash hit. So it was on Broadway and in London, and it's now closed in London finally, but it's like doing London tours, and now it's doing some US tours. And you know, I've heard a lot of different responses. Some people are really into it, and some have some mixed feelings, and some really don't like it. I think it's kind of fair to say that in terms of the play, I haven't read the novel to be fair, and I really want to, but I haven't gotten to that yet. In terms of the play is mostly about kind of like explaining autism to a neurotypical crowd, and what autism means or can mean for the family members of someone with autism. But until very recently, no one who had autism, at least as far as anyone who had like said that they had autism or come out as having autism, had played the role of the main character who's autistic. And really recently, make sure I get his name right, Mickey Rowe was cast in a touring production of Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, which is really great. You know, personally, I think that autistic actors should play autistic roles. Like, autism is different for everyone, so you're not gonna get necessarily someone with the exact same autism as the character. Like, that's impossible. But I do think that people who have autism have an understanding just about kind of how that brain mentality works, and if there are neurotypical people writing autistic roles, which like isn't super ideal, if that's gonna happen, then at least let an autistic actor play the role of someone with autism, because they know at least kind of what that feels like. And if the character has a different sensory issue than them, or has a different level of, you know, how they can speak or other ways of interacting than them, at least they understand where that comes from, even if that's not their experience directly. Anyway, sorry, my little soapbox. But I just wanted to read a little bit of what Mickey wrote for Playbill.com. And I'm going to include a link so you can read the whole thing, because the article is actually really cool and smart and on point, and I'm a big fan. But there's a bit that they wrote, which I think, you know, even if you're not in theater, will make sense to you in terms of kind of the jobs that you pursue, maybe, and yeah, I don't know, maybe, you know, kind of how you go about life. So that's this quote, which is, as part of the article, he says, "Autistics use scripts every day. We use scripting for daily situations that we can predict the outcome of and stick to those scripts. My job as an autistic is to make you believe that I am coming up with words on the spot, that it's spontaneous, the first time the conversation has ever happened in my life, that this is also my job on stage as an actor. For instance, at a coffee shop, me. Hi, how are you doing today? Parentheses, smile. Can I please have a small coffee? Thank you so much. Parentheses, if it seems like more conversation is needed. Has it been busy today? Barista. Parentheses, any barista response. And then me. My response will always be, oh yeah. Is it nicer when it's busy or when it's slow? And then no matter what they say, have a great rest of your day. And then Mickey says, always stick to the script. it makes things infinitely easier. Or, playing Edmund in King Lear, wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom, and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother? It's really no different. They're lines I've learned, that I say often, but I'm making you believe they are mine, particular to this specific moment. These all may seem like reasons why I should never be an actor, but acting is a dichotomy, a tension between what is safe and what is dangerous, what is known and what is unknown, what's mundane and what's exciting. And to be honest, that really resonates with me on a really personal level as an actor and an autistic person, but I think a lot of times autistic people are very aware of that dichotomy between what is safe and what's dangerous, what's known and what's unknown, what's mundane and what's exciting. I thought that was a really great quote, and a really great way of kind of talking about the theater profession and how autistic people might fit into that, but also how living as an autistic person is something that isn't just about disability, but it's also something that requires a lot of skill and attention and thought and planning. And the more we can recognize that in our lives and in the art that we make, the better off we'll all be, I think. Cool. So, thanks for checking in, and please, if you have any comments or questions or want a topic for the next episode, let me know. I will do my best to have another one out on Wednesday coming up, and thanks for watching. Take care.
Let's make our own life.
The whole time I was recording that, there was a soup bowl on the sofa. I like soup a lot, so I'm not going to apologize, but I'm sorry if that was distracting. But I'm not really sorry, because I'm really glad I had soup for dinner. Okay.